Everybody, welcome. It's been a little while since I've been streaming, so I'll just do a little test, a little No Man's Sky first, and then I'm gonna join up with PoopShizzle for some we're here. Hey JJ. How you doing? How you been? Been a little long time. And congratulations, since I haven't talked to you in a little while. Liberation. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Product received. Yeah, I haven't been streaming too much in a long time, actually, consistently. But I've been playing the heck out of this game. Just having a lot of fun. Nice. Flip that bird. How's the sound? Is the sound coming through okay? It's always my worry. My audio is always my bane. I always worry about. Yep, I was gonna say I was about to crash into something. This is a frosty planet. Coming in hot. A little rocky, huh? Cool. Cool, man. Yeah, I just figured I'd wait just a few moments of this and then I'll join in. Are we doing the We Are Here or the Together? I'm good either way. I got the free version in and I also got the Together version. Seriously? Not a single spot to land? Oh, I'm good either way. We can try out the free version, just see how it plays. Yak shift. Cool enough. Gonna attract some attention. That's okay, because I got bounties to go. Lead, huh? not so elite. There's the bounty. Call in the walker. I was expecting you. Get close to the knees. You can't get me. Alright, let me just change my weapon real quick. And bye-bye. That's when these little sentinel go, oh crap, we should get out of here. Alright, now that the pieces are rolling. Okay. Alright, where's my ship? Get out of here. Because they'll keep coming. Hide in here. They'll never suspect us. Alright, what do we got? Oh, I have a bounty to take a picture of one of these observatories. Okay. One of the simple ones. The 7, then the O, then the 2. Because it's 1702, you shift. 7021, shift. 0217, shift. 2170. I know, I'm a genius, but you know. Just kidding. Just done so many of these that just you get to know them. Alright. Alright, what I'm going to do now is come back to this planet later. And oh, okay. cool. Yes, we'll do that. Thank you, sir. Bring in my capital ship. Just want to make sure I switch over to these guys. So I have this. Yeah, okay. I didn't need it. Progress. Calibrating. Fleet commander. Debrief me. Log entry. Took advantage of currency fluctuations. Profit 275,000. Pretty good. Cultivated good relations with Hakeem. Got some more effigies. Don't care. Made alliance with local mining vessels. Allies attacked by pirates, assisted with their defense. Hostiles destroyed. 369. Held by Gek. Let's see. Another profit. Scan asteroids. Pirates again. 200,000. Pirates are not really good against these guys. Alright, so. Hope all shattered. I was hoping for some storage units. Returned home. Alright, well, let's see what the total is. Hakeem, good site, and a cool 1 mil. Nice. Good job, guys. How about these guys? How are they doing? All right, I'll do. Oh. Jeez, how many things am I getting? Oh. There we go. Looked like about 1 million there that just added. Distance covered to 2,500 light years, give or take 10. Collected chloride lattice. That's why. Conductors fiber, semiconductors, storage augmentation. There we go. Money. That's what I wanted. Discovered data worth. Profit 320. Corvax. Crab pumps. Corvax. Pearls. Activated copper. Returned home. I think you guys did a little better. Not money-wise, but... Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is... Otherwise, I'm going to get sidetracked for a lot of time. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save here. Where's my save spot? And I'm going to change gears, take a Brief break. Where's my Be Right Back page? You go away from streaming for so long and you don't have a Be Right Back page. What the heck, huh? Let me find one. And I'll be right back. Just gonna get set up for PoopShizzles and my journey into We Are Here. Or We Were There, or We Were Here. Something like that. So, be right back.
Hey there, sir. No, you're good. The game apparently has like in-game chat functionality. So I would think once we are in the game, we can just use that and maybe either mute or cancel the voice call on Discord. But I don't know. Whatever you need for your stream, you just let me know, brother. All right, brother man. Where do you need me? Okay. Create a room. Enter room name. Clear poop. You know, it's almost like, do you see a doctor about it?
Alrighty, let's see.
All right. I don't think that we're so popular that we have to have secrecy, but that is the password to get in.
Oh, okay. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so start again. Okay, trying to find. There we go.
King is in the house. All right, stand by. I got to get set up with this real quick. I'll be right back to you, chat. All right, so my preliminary research on the game is.
Mm-hmm. I'm good with either. We can kind of stumble through it and see what the how it actually works out, right? Let's see. Let's see. I hear you, so I'm just trying to think. Is that coming from Discord, or is that in the game? Yep. Now you're double. Yep. There is the double. Cool. That's fine. That works for me.
See how this works.
All right.
Thank you, King Z. Stream title, homie. What's up with my stream title? Did it not change?
Hmm. Why are these things always on an icy planet or a dark forest?
not sure if you can hear me in game, so I just went ahead and unmuted
Yeah,
Discord.
that was actually. I wonder if it's you can only talk while you're in the game, like in maybe the ready room. They let you talk.
Maybe, yeah, as you're getting set up. I know that you had to like set up a button for your walkie-talkie.
Yep. Yeah, the push to talk there. There weren't many buttons on this one. It was like 4 buttons. I was like, okay, jump. All right.
All right, so you should be able to hear me over walkie-talkie. Let me mute
Okay.
Discord.
Can you hear me? I don't hear you. Check something real quick. Audio. I got my Yeti. Let me try something real quick. That's not okay. Let's see.
I think the default walkie-talkie was like V.
Yeah. Do you hear me? I can hear a click sound. So if you can hear me.
Well, I still hear you in Discord, so I'd have to either disconnect from the call or maybe you mute yourself in Discord to test that. But I mean, like, I can push mine. Maybe you'll hear double. Mic check 1 2. That's walkie-talkie.
Can you hear me now?
Or if you want, we can just use Discord. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I'm wondering why the audio, because I hear the click sound like when I hold down the push to talk.
Because I don't hear you talking in the game at all if you're trying to.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe we'll try the Discord that way. Figure out what the technical thing is here. That's kind of strange. Yeah, maybe we'll do the Discord thing, because I don't... You weren't hearing me when I was doing the walkie-talkie, right? Either.
No, I could hear the ch on my side from my own walkie-talkie, but I couldn't hear like yours coming in or anything. I mean, Discord will be fine. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. All right, brother man. So I am in a pretty small 2-room. Each room has 2 stories. I have no idea what you're looking at.
Right now, I'm on a... Looks like just an entrance to like a library area with really just 1 floor, and what looks to be a gate of some sort with some purple with some dots. It's like almost like a cross-like formation. 2 dots in the middle, 4 around it, and a square, and then like 3 additional purple dots. And then there's like 2 sconces in front of it, but there's no other entrances or exits as far as I can see.
Okay. Do you have? You said you have a gate.
Yeah, it's like a doorway gate. So there's a door, but then there's a metal gate in front of it. Real small, like just a regular like doorway. What are some of the keys? I just want to make sure I got my keys here. Interact is E, space is jump. That's okay. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, here we go. Wait a second. I wonder if you hear me. I actually picked up a walkie-talkie off of a desk.
Oh. Mic check 1 2.
I hear you twice now.
Okay, let me mute Discord and try yours.
All right, can you hear me?
I think very vaguely. Let me turn you up.
about now, Verizon?
I got you loud and clear,
Okay,
buddy.
I also put my gain up on my Yeti, so maybe that'll help a little bit.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I just don't want you to blow out your stream.
Yeah. Well, the Yeti only goes to the Discord, so I use my headset for the stream stuff, so.
It looks like we may override each other on frequency. So if you're talking and I'm talking at the same time, we can't hear anything. So normal radio operating procedure would be to say over. I don't know how official you want to be.
Good idea, over.
10-4, buddy. Loud and clear.
Alright, so now that I found that walkie-talkie off of this desk, over. Where did you find your walkie-talkie? Was it as well on a desk somewhere?
On the wall here. I don't know. I'm going to pull it, see if you hear or see anything. Pulling right now.
Did not hear anything, over.
Okay, I didn't hear or see anything on my side either, over.
The desk that I found the walkie-talkie on has a, looks like a briefcase underneath it, but it's not responding to any interaction like the walkie did. Over, over.
Same on my table. I've got a green book I can interact with. It has some symbols on the front, and I believe on the back there's some other symbols as well. Or actually there's text. Starting in the far west, take 2 steps northbound, head east twice, then after moving north 2 times, it's hard to read, 1 can head for the door after taking 1 step towards the western wall. Over.
Okay. There's also no compass that we can tell of a direction. Over.
Okay, I'm looking at windows. I'm trying to see if there's anything that gives me any instruction as to what you're looking at. It looks like a king holding something in his hand for some kind of stained glass. Over.
Okay, now I found a wall here that is on one of the side walls. It's kind of like a little alcove wall that says the answer lies, and there's a 3-candle candelabra below it. On the opposite wall, there's a empty wall with a blue and a red crystal in a column. So there's 2 crystals, 2 columns, one with 1 blue crystal, one with a red crystal that look like eyes, but they're crystals, and there's an empty wall. Over.
Okay, actually that kind of piques something over here. So I'm looking at a chart. There's various symbols. It looks like 20 or so symbols running down the middle in 2 center columns. On 2 outer columns are eyeballs, but the irises are different colors, ranging from blue to red to green. I'm to assume that they are lined up in row formation with these corresponding symbols. Over.
Okay, and in this one, there's only 1 set of eyeball pairs with a blue on the left iris and a red iris on the right. So a blue on the left and a red on the right.
Okay, stand by and over.
Oh, and I do see some symbols on the wall now that I get closer to it. There's bricks in the wall with symbols on them, various strange symbols. Oh.
Okay. Describe some of those symbols. Maybe they correlate with the eye colors.
Did you ever play Ultima? Like Ultima 7 or 5 or any of those sort of?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
No worries. So there's 3 rows of symbols with like spaces in between on the bricks. The first row has like a circle with 3 lines going through it, so it makes like, crosses through the circle. Almost like a matchstick or something, there's there. Over.
Okay, so you would say like X marks the spot with an additional line and they're circling where all 3 lines intersect?
Exactly, over.
Okay, continue.
Then there's a modified T, so it looks like a T, but the upper lines that form the T are more sort of like looped. So it's like a T with 2 loops at the top of it.
Okay, yeah, my adolescent mind went immediately to that. Looks like butt cheeks with something coming out of it. Over.
I see it now and I can't unsee it. Over.
You're welcome. All right, so the first symbol you read, I know you said you have multiple ones, just to keep this in mind. The first symbol, I have two of those symbols present. One of them in the left central column and one of them in the right central column. Both of them, to either side of them, have a green eye associated with them. Over.
Okay, so maybe we should look for the ones that are blue and red related, since I have only blue and red irises. Over.
Can you interact with these symbols in any way, shape, or form? Over.
Yes, I can interact with each of them. Yep. Over.
All right, so the butt cheek symbol,
Over.
red, and one that is blue. Over.
All right, sorry, can you repeat again? I was laughing. Over.
All right, so one of the symbols has it's like a pinkish reddish eye, and the other one is a blue eye. So one of each of those two colors you are looking for, this symbol is represented next to each of those.
Gotcha, yes. So if I have a blue iris and a red iris, over.
Yeah, because like
Let's see.
They're different orientation, but some of them have the same color eye next to them on the outside, and some of them have different color eyes. So I don't know. I'm not familiar if maybe the higher up on the column that symbol is, if you take that color eye or whatnot, because that doesn't make any sense to me.
Gotcha. All right, maybe if I describe a couple of the other symbols, maybe it'll make sense, because they're really solid blue and solid red irises. There's no like black dot or anything in the inside. Over.
Interesting. Okay, I do have pupils on mine. Go ahead, continue. Over.
All right, the second row. Oh, actually, the first one. So I mentioned the circle, the X with the extra line with a circle in the center, the butt cheeks with a line from it, and then the final symbol is an A with an additional line down from the crossing portion of the A. And then on the second row, there's something that kind of looks like a division sign with another flip. So it's a upper left, lower right, and then it goes upwards and right, and then down. So almost like a check mark with an additional lip on the top right. Over. And then there's an N with a curly cued end point on it, and then another X with only a regular X with a circle in the center. So only two lines to form the X with a circle in the center. That's the final symbol in the second row. The third row has a symbol that looks like a X with two lines on either side of it, like an X is doing stilts or pole vaulting. And then there's an M, just that looks like a straight up M, and then another symbol that's a lot like the other one that I described with like the check mark with the extra loop, but it has a few additional like little loops to it. So it's almost like a lightning bolt almost, but not as pronounced. Over.
Okay, so basically, if you were to add up, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different symbols. Over.
Correct. Over.
Okay, so we have the same number of symbols represented. It's just a matter of, I've got my left side two columns. Each symbol is I guess ranked by whatever it is ranking it by, and then to the left of those symbols is a colored iris, and then on the right side a similar fashion as well. So I don't know if where they rank in the reading of the column downwards, if they need to be inputted in a certain way, or only certain ones that follow the color scheme. There, maybe check around your area or at your puzzle and see if there's some kind of orientation that's associated with what symbols go where or next to which colored eyeball. Over.
Over. So on the wall that I thought was blank, which is between the two columns, is where these symbols are. So there's like a brick wall with the columns on either side of it, with a blue iris and a right iris, and in the center of that wall is where all these symbols are with the bricks. So the orientation is probably blue is probably the left, the right is the right is the red, and then the other ones are sort of scattered. So I'm wondering, is there like a pair of just blue and red, and I can try pushing those symbols if there's just like a blue and a red, like in that, you know, blue on the left, right on the right, right on the red on the right. Over.
Okay. So let me give you an example. The two central columns of where my symbols are represented, the left central column, the topmost icon is that A with the T hiding out underneath it.
Okay.
And next to that symbol is a blue eye. In the right central column, that same symbol, A with the T, is fourth down, and there's a blue eye to the right of that one.
Okay.
Over.
Gotcha. Okay. Over.
Can the symbols to a certain way? Can you? I mean, I'm not.
They're kind
sure
of
if,
scattered. Like in the first row, if you had, let's say, 2, 4, 6, 8 bricks in the row, the symbols are evenly spaced, like 2 or 3 apart. On the second row, they're spaced, but they're sort of catty corner to those. And then the third row, so that each row has, it's a row of 3 symbols, a row of 3 symbols, and a row of 3 symbols. In terms of the bricks, and they're sort of just scattered, not in any particular order. In terms of like, they're not aligned, they're not vertically aligned. They're just sort of like non-justified, if that makes sense. Over.
Okay, well then let's see if we can't start putting some symbols together. Maybe. I'm gonna, since you have the puzzle in front of you and it looks like I have the cipher, let me know what symbols you want to try or what symbols you want to, colors you want to favor, and I'll try to read you which ones have similar colors or different colors. Over.
Oh, you know, interesting thing I just noticed. So we said that there's 9 symbols that I have on my wall, right? 3, 6, 9. Okay. The door that I was talking about earlier with the gate in front of it has purple dots on it in a certain fashion, and there's 9 of those purple dots. So I'm wondering if those purples will turn into something else as I do in a particular order, perhaps. So maybe that's like telling you that you're unlocking a particular pair of, you know, or order of symbol pushing, perhaps. Over.
Yeah, maybe like it's a progress, like a progress meter.
Exactly. Over.
Okay, I'm kind of running around the room right now looking for anything that may match those symbols. I can always run back to the poster that I'm looking at if you need me to check on something. So over.
Okay, and I'm just checking other walls just to make sure I didn't overlook anything else. The only thing that's interesting is the words on the opposite wall that says the answer lies, as in L-I-E-S. So interesting. Over.
I have some text here. It looks like it's written in either blood or lipstick. It says between the eyes. Over.
That's interesting. Maybe because my symbols are on a wall on between 2 columns with eyes on opposing sides. So maybe that's what it's kind of telling me to look here if we didn't see these words or these symbols here earlier, perhaps. Over.
That makes sense. All right, so yeah, just let me know which symbols, and I can give you some colors.
Let's see. Let's try them in a pair. Let's try if there's any, like you said. Which was the first one that had a blue from your top down, left to right? Was the first one that has a blue next to it? Over.
All right. The first item in the left central column is the A with the T hiding out under the crossbar, and it is blue.
Over. Okay. Okay. Let me push it just to see if it does anything with just one single push. Over. Okay. When I pushed it or interacted with it, it lit up. Nothing else happened though, but it did light up. So perhaps.
Okay. You want to try?
Let's try. Is there another one with like a? What's the first one with a red on the right? Like on the right hand side, because that was the blue. That was the first blue with a symbol on the left. What was the first symbol that has red on the right? A red eye on the right. Over.
Okay. The left central column, the next one down is the butt cheek symbol. That's the left central column. It has a red eye. The first one on the right central column that has a red eye is the check mark with the extra tail. Over.
Okay. I'll say I want to touch the butt cheek. Over.
Okay, touch on, man.
Okay. So when I pushed it there, it did not light up, and the original A turned off as well, and I heard it click, but it didn't. It almost disengaged. So that was probably the wrong combination. Over.
Oh, so maybe you have to input them in a certain way to unlock a...
Right. Over.
Stand by real quick. Let me count some things. Over.
Out of curiosity, are yours in sort of like scattered on this tapestry, or are they in like rows or columns? Over.
I have 4 columns. The leftmost column is the eyes of varying eye color. The second to left column is the first column of symbols. The third column is the second column of symbols, and then the fourth column is the other varying eye color column. And then the symbols in the middle, as far as I know, they're jumbled up. They're not really matched with their neighbor, nor are they always matching the same color as their matching neighbor. So, like, it looks like it's jumbled. I'm not discerning any pattern. Over.
Okay. If we disregard the colors of the eyes, what's the sort of order from left to right and then down of the different symbols? Maybe I'll try and push that and see if it at least get 2 or 3 lit and see if that gives us any progress. Over.
So you want me to read just the symbols to you like a book? So left, then right, and then jump down a row?
Correct. Over.
Okay, so then I'm going to stay hot on the mic here. First column, first symbol that I have is A with the T, and then the next one to it is butt cheeks. But then if I drop down to the next row to start, it's going to be butt cheeks again. Over.
Okay, so as soon as I hit butt cheeks, it goes unlit again. So that probably, maybe the eyes do have some pattern then. Over.
Okay, let's try this real quick then. I'm going to read the icons that match just blue eyes in the first column. So stand by to get your let me know when you're ready. Over.
Okay, over. Ready. Over.
All right. A with the T, then the curvy N, then the actual uppercase M, and that's all the ones that have blue. Over.
Alright, so since those are the 3 that had blue, I tried a couple different combinations of those, and the only one that gave me a combination where 2 of them stayed lit was when I hit the M and the N, and then when I tried to hit the A with the additional like T in the center, they all unlit. But I did get an achievement in Steam, so something was there after I hit the 2. Over. So if I just touch M and N right now, the music changed a little bit. I don't know if the music changed for you at all. Just now. Over.
Hold on. I think I might have found a pattern here. Stand by.
Over. Yep.
Okay, so just for clarification, you said whenever you hit the N and the M together, they stayed lit and something changed. Over.
Correct. Over. And only when I did the M and then the N. When I do the N then the M, it did not. Over.
Okay, then it must be from left to right. That's okay. So let's try this. Uppercase M, lowercase n, and then we're going to do, where is it? Stand by. Give me a second. Just the X with the circle around it, not the 3 sticks, and then the check with the tail. Over.
As soon as I do the X with the circle, it deactivates all the lights. I also then tried the M, then the N, and then the check with the extra tilde or whatever, and it also delit. So those two don't like the third. Any third character does not like.
Interesting. Okay. After you got that first thing and the achievement popped up, has anything else changed in your area besides the music? Over.
Yes, actually, the door is open.
Hey, there we go.
All right, that was okay. That was pretty. So it was only 2 symbols needed. Okay, over.
All right, so let me know what you find next. I don't really have much. Oh, I have a room open too. Stand by. Over.
By the way, the door closed behind me. Over.
Understood. I still have full access to all the rooms I originated in. Over.
Okay. I'm in a small room. It's basically looks like what you would think of as a library, but there's no books. There's a small little 2-step staircase that goes up to a podium that has a wall of different symbols, all that do not match any of the other symbols that we saw in those other rooms. I could describe them in a moment, and then I go up a couple more steps and there is a painting with what looks like some strange bird, monkey, snail creature. Over.
Okay, there was a lot there to decipher. First and foremost, the access that I gained after solving that last puzzle. I am standing in a round room with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 varying pictures of birds / weird symbols as well. Over.
Okay. Did you say you have any? I have one portrait though. There's the weird symbols, but then there's one portrait, and it's a animal that has the head of a bird, the front legs of a bird, the back legs of maybe a monkey, with a snail shell in the back with plume of feathers coming out its butt. Over. So a bird head, a snail back, and maybe like monkey paws in the back end and bird paws in the front. So a 4-legged animal. Over.
Bird head is like a full-on beak with like a couple of plume feathers above it. Over.
Yes, it's kind of looking up and right, the bird head. Over.
Okay, I have varying differences using those different body types, but I don't have the exact matching one that you have. Over.
Oh, and below the picture there are 3 open spaces where if you had been able to take off those glyphs off the wall, I would imagine 3 of those would go into these openings. So it sounds like it might be a 3 symbol puzzle. Over.
Oh, so you have like kind of like a whenever you label something under a picture, but it's empty. Over.
Correct. Over. The picture itself has 3 empty spaces below it, and on an opposing wall there's a bulletin board of just glyphs basically. I can read those out if you want. Over.
I'm assuming you can manipulate those. Can you pick any of those symbols up? Over.
Yes, over. They're actually, I can pick them up, and then I presumably can carry it over to the openings. Like they're sort of basically little stone glyphs that I can place in them. Over.
All right, understood. This is what I'm assuming. So I have all these paintings, and each painting has a certain order of symbols underneath it. I'm assuming that matching attributes of your painting, we have to get symbols from these paintings that I can see so that you can input them on your side. Over.
Makes sense. Over.
All right, so give me from left to right the first thing you see in the picture. Over.
The left to right, it's a... Oh. You know what? When I look closer, just at it, strange thing, I'll tell you in a moment, but it's not a bird head. It's actually, if I get a little closer, it actually looks like a pig face. I don't know if it's one of those pictures that has like a different look depending how close you get to it. It's very strange. Anyway, the left side glyph has like a plume, a tail plume. Over.
Does it look like a pig or maybe like a baby lamb?
Kind of like a pig, yeah. I'd say more pig than lamb. Over.
Okay, understood. All right, so the first symbol I'm assuming is going to be, and I hope this is right. This is going to be hard to describe, but go ahead and bear with me. It looks like a lollipop that's sitting on a table, but the stick of the lollipop goes under a table and curves up inside of it. Over.
And the lollipop has like a cross in the center of it. Over.
Correct, yes.
Okay, I'll pick it up and see if I can put it in the first spot, see what it does. Okay, it looks like it went into the slot. It stayed in the slot, so let's see. And then it looks like I can put a second and a third one in, but it did not like pop out, and it actually did fit. Over.
Understood. All right, so if I were to assume correctly, then the next symbol would be like kind of like an F, like a cursive F, but with two tiny V's for the crossbars. Over.
Let's see. Repeat it again. I'm looking at the board again. Over.
A cursive F, but instead of a crossbar to notate an F, it's two little V's.
Yep, I see that one. Yep. You want me to grab that one? Over? Okay, I put it in there and it made a sound to insert, so it stayed in there at least for now. So maybe the third symbol will be either right or wrong, and we'll see what it does. What's the third symbol? Over.
All right, the third symbol, and this is where we may differ, because I see a lamb face, and you might see that pig face, but we're looking for. It literally looks like a face where the eyes and the mouth are squares, and there's three little pieces of hair sticking out of the corners.
Kind of like a Muppet. Over. That's what I see at least. Yeah, I think I see the symbol. It's a two eyes, a square mouth with two tufts of hair on either side of it, with like a square head. Over.
Yeah, like they're surprised or something.
Okay, it opened the door. Over.
Perfect. All right, nothing's changed on my end that I noticed. I'm going to look at the other rooms, but let me know what you see. Over.
And the door closed behind me again, so this room I'm in is almost like a long rectangular room. Let's see, with pipes in the far wall. There's like red pipes. And then a descending stair that goes into, it's either water or ice, let's see. With a door that has the word orange over, ironically in purple words. So its font is purple, but it's the word orange. Over.
Okay, yeah, I did find a door that opened, and I have a pretty extensive staircase that winds down. It's not like a circular winding, but it just like right turns. And then I do come to a room that has water in it, and I see a blue, a red, and a yellow water turn handle. Over.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess. Oh, the water is actually filling up. That is interesting. Okay, I did not realize that water is starting to fill the room. All right, so it is a red pipe that is in the room. So maybe try and turn the red pipe. Over.
Turning now. Over. Pipe turned. Over.
Waiting to see if the water stops rising. It is still rising. Over. Oh, whatever you did just stopped it from rising.
Okay. I turned a yellow one because you said orange, and I believe red and yellow make orange last time I was in kindergarten.
There you go. Excellent. And the water emptied and the door opened. Over.
Understood. I'll check to see if anything's different on my end. Over.
And the room I went into is a very small claustrophobic hallway that ends with a door that is no symbols, and the door behind me locked as well. There's only one thing that's notable in the room. It's almost looks like a pressure plate in the room, although I cannot interact with it. Over. It's one of those rooms that you think Indy's going to be in, and the walls turn into spikes, and they start to close it on you. That's the feeling I get from this room. It's not doing that, but that's what I'm getting the vibe. Over.
Are you in the trash compactor on the Death Star?
That would also work, yes. Over. I'm I'm looking to see if
Alright.
there's any symbols that I can discern from the wall or door, but so far I'm not seeing anything. Over.
My end. Do you have any pictures, glyphs, anything? Over.
Nothing. It's basically all bricks without any symbols on them, and a door without any symbols on them. Over. The only thing in the room really is something that looks like a pressure plate. If I stand on it, I don't hear anything, but maybe that will do something over where you're at. Over.
Okay, so you said you're standing on this pressure plate, correct? Over.
Correct. Over. Doesn't make any sound though, so I don't know if it's really doing anything, and there's no interaction on it. Over.
Okay, I'm trying to look for clues here. Stand by.
Will do. Over. I got nothing to do other than stare at these walls. Over. No pressure. Over. Yeah, I'm not hearing any sound effect or anything from this. It's interesting the way this game works.
All right, I just flipped a switch. Did anything happen on your end? Over.
Nothing that I can see. Over.
I'm kind of drawing a blank. I'm looking. I'm trying to find things here that might give you, like you have literally no symbolage or anything. Correct? Over.
Over. You're gonna the door I could actually interact with and push open. Over.
Understood. All right. What you got, brother?
It ends in a gate, a gated entrance with a lever that I can pull. I pulled it. So okay, here's the. I go from that room that I just left. I go down a couple steps and there's a portcullis in front of me with a lever to the right. When I pull that lever, it opens that portcullis up to a little space where the other portcullis across the way is closing. So basically, I will trap myself by going into this. Over.
Okay, stand by. You said like you're opening and closing gates, correct? Over.
Correct. It's one switch that operates counterbalancing portcullises. So when I came into the room, the first portcullis was closed, the further one was open, and then when I throw this switch, this one opens, the far one closes. Over. Beyond that second portcullis, there's actually a wall that has some writing on it that I cannot see from this distance, but it's at, blood dripping writing in the distance. Over.
Do you have any actually back up a little bit, because I was looking at a map and then suddenly there were colors on it and then suddenly there weren't. Were you standing on anything that triggered that? Over.
No, not staying on anything, but let me throw the switch back and close up the portcullis again and see if it does anything. Over. Okay, I threw the switch, so it's back to its original orientation. Closed portcullis, and the lever is up. Over.
Okay, stand by. Hang on.
You said earlier that you had a switch that you threw, or a lever that you threw, correct? Over.
Yes, I just threw a lever right now, and I see colors. I have a map on a table here, and I see colors. Is there anything noting of color on any of these gates or things that you're interacting with? Over.
Yes, there's 2 gems on the portcullis that are white. Over. And the lever is white. Over.
Okay, so I'm looking at a map here. Whenever we orientate these two switches or whatever, I can see colors on this map. So I see a white arrow that's coming in. It's kind of like a maze, but it's not a very hard maze. But obviously you can't see it, so I think I have to guide you. It's coming in on a white, and then I have some stairwells and such that kind of go through. You said you're looking at a white gate, correct? Over.
Correct, over.
Can you open that gate? Over.
I open the gate, over.
Okay, judging by this map, I'm assuming that I have to guide you, and I see X's and I see barriers. Once you get through the white gate, you should be able to turn right and then turn right again and go down some stairs, and there should be something blue there maybe for you to interact. Over.
Okay, the only problem is the portcullis is blocking me from going into this next room, which I can see it's a T joint, so I could go into the room, there would be a wall with that writing on it, and then I could go left and down some steps and right to another corridor. And there's a compass on the floor in this next room that I cannot get to, but it looks like there's a north pointing part of the compass that's pointing straight ahead of me, upwards. Straight, like in front of me, over.
Okay, yes, the map that I'm utilizing here does have a compass on it as well, and the lights did turn off. I don't know if the switches we use are timed, and that may be an additional factor to this puzzle, but check, can you get back to your starting point? Over.
Sure, over. You want me to throw the switch back to the original orientation? Over.
Yes, give that a shot, please. Over.
Okay. They're back to reset. Over.
Okay, nothing showed up, and let me flip my switch now. Okay, confirmed colors are back on the table, so this is timed. All right, so can you get to the writing on the wall and turn right, or are you still blocked by that secondary white gate? Over.
Yes, as soon as I throw my switch to open up the first portcullis, it lowers the second portcullis down and blocks my way. Over.
Okay, leave that one down, like be at the second gate. Let me see if flipping my switch actually opens it for you. Stand by. It's been flipped. Over.
No discernible change here, over.
Okay. Look around for anything. I'm going to look around as well. Over.
Gotcha, over. The second portcullis also has 2 white gems, by the way, on it, the same as the first one, just as FYI. Over.
That makes sense because the map has, for the first gate that you were able to open, it's a solid rectangle notating it on the map. For the second gate, it's a outline of a rectangle, white. Over.
Gotcha, over. I made some progress. I was able to reach back to the lever and pull it upwards again while I was still in this room, and it opened up the second portcullis, closed the original portcullis, and I can get into the room now. Over.
Okay, understood. Turn right, and I don't know if it's upstairs or downstairs, but make 2 right turns. You're going to go down or up some stairs, and you should be in a room with something that's blue. Over.
Okay, before I do that, the writing on the wall says, "Bring down the guiding light" in blood red writing. Over. This might just be, crazy talk, the Shining stuff, but it may be useful, may not be. We'll see. Over.
Understood.
So before I was about to turn, you mentioned coming through that portcullis. I'm at an intersection here where I can go left and right. Left downstairs, right goes just straight ahead, and I can see an additional T-joint coming ahead of me. So you said to turn to the right, correct? Over.
Yeah, you should go through some stairs.
Ah, right in the right. Yep, down some stairs. Yep. Over.
All right. Is there anything in that room notating blue? Over.
Yes, there's a blue lever. Over.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but go ahead and exit that room, and you know where you turn to go down the stairs? Instead, go straight and take that left turn around, and you should come to another blue gate of some sort. Over.
I'm looking. Over. I'm able to kind of walk a lot frequently in this room, so there's various intersections with like pictures on the walls of animals, but oh, I did run into a blue portcullis now. Over.
Okay, understood. Take a moment to look through, because I think there's something here as well on the back of these books, and it's all about directions and movements. So take a moment to familiarize yourself, and I'm going to look at some of these, see if I can't figure out a rhyme or reason.
Gotcha. Over. Okay, so we came from here. Turn right. That's where the blue lever was. Dogwood count. There's some freaky artwork in this. Knights. Dog. I just saw something move across an intersection.
Let me flip my switch to get my colors and see if that comes back. Stand by.
Like a person. Over.
Anything now?
No, I just went like left to right. Almost like if I didn't look, I wouldn't have seen it, but over. There's a spot in this maze where if I start to go up a staircase, it gets very, very dark. It's where I cannot even see anymore, so I'm going to go back around. I'm just kind of looking around the maze area.
All right, so I did discover something on my end. There's a chandelier above the table in which I'm viewing the map. Every time I pull the switch to get the colors on the map, it looks like it's a timer, and the chain on the chandelier is slowly retracting, raising the chandelier. I think we have to solve this maze in a certain amount of time before this gets to the top or something, and then you're able to get out of there. Over.
Okay, gotcha. I still haven't thrown the blue lever yet, so I'm not sure if you wanted me to try that or not. Over.
By all means, experiment.
Okay,
Do what you can.
over. Right, that wasn't here. That was.
In your searching, did you say you came across symbols? Over.
No, just various animal pictures, portraits on the wall. Odd ones. Over. An example of an odd one is a golden retriever with candelabra ears and a candelabra coming out of its head. Over.
Say that again, please. Over.
An odd picture meaning like something like a golden retriever with candelabra coming out of its head and ears. Over.
Understood. Over.
think by pulling that lever, I was able to go through that portcullis with the blue that was opened, and it lowered me down into another room with a green lever. Over.
Yeah, I gotta reset the timer here. Hang on.
And I do see a portcullis that's opened that has a green gem on it, but it is open. Over.
Okay, come again. Where's your positioning? What are you looking at?
After I went through the blue portcullis, it stayed open after I was able to pull that lever. I went into a room that was descending downwards into another one of these rooms that had a green lever in it. An exit doorway goes up a staircase through another open portcullis that is green portcullis, and then now I see a red portcullis that is closed on my left side. Over.
Okay, yeah, so that red one closed on your left side, according to this map, is the exit. However, can you go straight past that door? You might come in contact with another red gate. Over.
Yes, and that red gate is open. And I'm going through it. Over.
Okay, at the bottom or top of that stair, past that second red gate, turn right, and then make a left, and go straight through a green door across a room, and you should be in a room with a red button. Over.
Okay, that green gate is closed right now, so maybe if I throw the green lever, it will be open. So I'm going to go back to the green lever and pull it. Over.
Understood. Let me know.
Pretty complicated maze. Alright, let's see. Okay. As soon as I pulled down that lever, the green one, the green gate that I would exit through to get to those red gates is inaccessible. Over.
I'm gonna flip my switch again. Let me know if it changes your situation. Over. It's been flipped?
No, so far that green gate is still closed. Over. When I re-raise the green lever back to its original position, the green gate is open again. Over. And then I come into that, I go up the stairs, and on my immediate left there's a red gate that is closed right now. And if I go beyond, I start to get through some areas where there's a red gate that is open on my right, and up and around.
So basically you're kind of in like an L, like a wonky L-shaped kind of room with a staircase that kind of goes around the perimeter with some ancillary rooms off the edges. The thing is, I don't know if you have to hit them in a certain order to get that red gate open for you. Over.
Gotcha. Over.
Do you have any like pressure plates or anything in any of these rooms? Over.
Not pressure plates, but they're sort of like sewer grates that are just open with, you can't go anywhere, but it's a circular sewer grate with 3 bars in the middle of it, but they're not really pressure plates. Over. They look more decorative. Over.
They do anything?
Doesn't seem to as I run over them. Over.
I'm not seeing anything on my end that can help make you go further. So besides, I just keep resetting the color lever. I mean, I can guide you through the map, but there's not really much I can do on my end. Over.
Gotcha. Over. looking in all these additional rooms. So far I'm not seeing any other levers or pressure points or anything. Over. So I'm backtracking a bit. Over.
I have a question for you, actually. So the red gate that you could get through, and then you would cross to that green wall. To your left is a stairwell as you're approaching that green. Does that go anywhere? Over.
Looking. It does go up, but then it goes into like darkness. Over. It kind of winds around, but then it goes into a dead end. And I tried to go into the darkness working backwards to see if I could like back into it, and there is a wall there, so it's just kind of like a darkened area. Over.
Understood. All right. Thank you.
I am running into a blue gate now that around one of these turns that's closed on me right now. Over.
All right, so is that blue gate just outside the room with the red lever? Over.
Let me see if I can see. It might be. Hold on. Over. It's more beyond, like if I'm coming down these staircases where the green gate is closed on me right now, and the green gate is on my left, and I go through this room and go down these staircases and wind around to the left side, that's where the blue gate is closed on me.
Okay, so that's the... Okay, gotcha. So backtrack to the red door that you can't go through, and let me know when you get there. Over.
Okay, I'm at the gate that the red gate that is closed that I cannot get through. Over.
Okay, so if you're facing it, to your left should be a green gate that you can get through. Confirm?
Correct. Over.
All right, go through that gate, and then you should be at the green switch. Correct?
Correct. Over.
Okay, continue down that room to the left, and you should come into a blue gate just at the bottom or top of whatever stairs.
Correct.
Over.
And the blue gate is open. Over.
Okay, take a right and then go up some stairs, and does that go into darkness again? Over.
Yes, it goes into darkness. Over.
Okay, understood. Okay, so instead of going to the darkness stairs, take the left and go down the hallway. You should be coming back closer to your starting point. You'll turn left in a room, and then you should see the white gate on your right. Over.
Correct. Over. I'm back at the white gate.
Okay, go forward to one more corridor and turn right. You should be at the blue switch. Over.
Correct. Over.
Okay, go back to the hallway. Instead of going back towards the white gate, turn right. Go around the U-turn, down or up the stairs, whichever it is. Turn right, and you should be at the blue gate. You can't move, correct?
Correct. Yep. That's it.
Okay, so that's basically the circuit of the room that you're working with. That's what I'm looking at map-wise. I think you have to use those switches in a certain time to get to where you need to. I don't know if they're timed, though, because I don't know if you flip one blue switch, if that one will open and the other one closes. You see what I'm thinking? Over.
Yep. Over. Currently the blue switch is down right now. Over.
If you flip that, does it change the blue gate that you used to not be able to go through? Over.
Yep, I can get through it now. Over. And I eventually get to the green gate that I cannot get through. Over. And then there's other exits from this room.
So go through that new, now open blue gate. You should be back in the room with the green gate to get to the red lever room, correct? Over.
Alright, so I'm going through I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. So I'm going through the blue gate. I hook a right, up some stairs, and then I'm going into a room which has the green gate on the right-hand side that's closed, and there's an exit upstairs going straight ahead of me, and a opening to the left as well that's open. So the green gate's closed, but I can go upstairs straight ahead, or I can go left. If I go left...
You cut out there. You still with me?
Oh, yep, sorry. I let go. So I'm in that room with the green gate that's closed. The green gate is on my right-hand side, and I'm facing staircases that go up, and another corridor that goes left. Over.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking you need to do. That green gate is closed. If you backtrack to the blue switch room, flip that, then backtrack to the green switch room, flip that, then you might be able to come all the way back to the red switch room, and you should open it up.
Easy for you to say. Over.
Understood. That's why I'm here to guide you.
No, that's fine. Over.
Backtrack all the way to the blue switch room and flip that real quick, and that should flip the difference, the two blue gates for you. Over.
Okay, through the blue switch again. I'm gonna see where I can get to. Okay. Let me know if the timer seems to sync off or not, like if there's a chain that is closed at any point. Over.
The only timer that I have is a chandelier that is on a very long chain from the ceiling, and when I pull the lever, it drops really close to the table, but I can see the colors of the gates on the map. After it gets about halfway back up to the ceiling, those colors disappear from the map, but it continues to rise as if it's still on a timer. Over.
Gotcha. Well, I just threw the green switch now, so I'm going to try and backtrack again and see if I can go around. Over.
When you flip that green switch, did the one right next to the green switch go up? That would have been closest to the exit?
Actually,
Over.
it closed. Over.
That's what I meant. It closed. Like you don't have access,
over.
Correct? All right. So then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to hit that blue switch on your way to the red switch. Over.
Gotcha. Over. Okay, that green gate that was normally closed is open right now, so I went through it, but it's dead-ending into a room where I don't see any switches on the wall. Over.
Okay. Exit that room. Is there a... I think you might need to turn left at that red gate. Over.
I went through the one red gate, not the original one that's closed, but the one that was open. Over. And now I'm at the green gate and the red gate, which are right next to each other. Both of those are closed. With the The green gate in front of me, the red gate to my right, those are both closed at the moment.
See if that
Over. Sorry. Say again. Over.
Did anything change? Over?
Not that I can see. They're both still closed. Over. So there's probably some combination, right?
So this is, you're at the red gate that was already closed and it remains closed?
Correct. Over. See if I go back to the green gate.
Well, I think we're onto something here. I just don't know if we're doing it in the right order, if that makes sense. Over.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. Over. Maybe it's a different combination in order. Over.
My thinking is that you're having to like not minimize, but limit your path. Like only, it seems like there's 2 green gates and there's two blue gates, and one cannot be open while the other is. They can't be open at the same time, so you have to figure out how to offset those. And that's how I've been navigating you around this map, but I don't understand the mechanic behind the red one. Over.
Yep, makes sense. Over.
If you go back and flip the red switch, does the red gate that's always open close? Over.
Trying to remember if I had a red switch. I had a blue switch and a green switch. I don't remember if I had a red switch. Over.
You do have a red switch. You have one of each color. If you go back to the green door, not the one that's right next to the green switch, but the other one, and that in that room is the red switch. Over.
Okay, one sec. Over. See if this does anything. Ah, yes, I did find the red switch. Yep. Over. I think I have an idea. So right now I went back to the one gate that was red, that was open, and I threw down the switch. So presumably the exit red gate is probably open right now. So I'm going to try and go backwards and flip a green switch to see if I can get through the green gate to the red gate, if that makes sense. Over.
It makes perfect sense. You'll want to hit the blue switch on your way first, because that second blue gate will stop your progress. Over.
Gotcha. Over. That means I have to go back to the beginning. Alright, so that one probably I don't need, so let's flip the blue switch here. Okay. That one. Presumably should close this one, so let's double check that theory. I think I want to go around the other way. Yep, good, okay. So if I go around this way, okay, back to the start. Is this where our switch was? I don't think there was anything in here, no. Okay, so let me go up here.
I had someone log online playing a game, and I thought there was an achievement, so I thought you were successful.
Over. Okay, let me flip that switch now. There we go. Got it.
Hey, nicely done.
All right, before we do this next, I'm going to do a quick little bio break. Maybe like 2-3 minutes. Alrighty? Over.
You got it. I'll be waiting.
Alright. Alright, fam, I'll be right back. Just going to take a quick little break. And I'll be right back. And we're back. Let's rejoin our buddy PoopShizzle. And I'm back. and my my screen is all snow filled because when I left that room, it actually went into a opening with an open courtyard open. I don't know if that means I'm freezing to death or over.
I was about to say, are you dying, or can you go inside and warm up?
Like half my screen is covered in snow, and I'm trying to see if there's an entrance somewhere. Over.
I did see that we had checkpoint reach, so if we need to restart, I'm sure that'll start literally right where we solved that last one.
Yeah, I saw that same indicator said checkpoint. We might want to do that just because I have extreme tunnel vision with snow-filled everything else. Over.
Understood. I don't see any way to restart a checkpoint, though. You may have to, like, find a way to die. Over.
Interesting, I don't think I can even interact. There's like a red blinking light that I can't interact with either, so trying to see if there's a place I can die or reset. Over.
Good luck, buddy. Over.
Can't see. I can't even interact with any of these things here. Lamp, give me heat.
How you doing, friend? Over.
Not seeing a way out of this one. Over.
All right, well, we may have to work with your impaired vision. All right, what do you see that you can see? Over.
Okay, so when I left that exit, I went into an open courtyard, which is snowing, and there's a large-sized chessboard in the middle of the courtyard. Over.
Ooh, chess. Okay. I did find a spool of film. There's like this really old, rickety-looking film projector here that says "World's Greatest Chess Moves." However, there's no film on it. Over.
I'm looking to see if I can interact with any of the pieces or pretty much anything else, and I'm not seeing any, but I'm trying to click a few things. Over.
All right, Godspeed.
See. Oh, wait. What happened there? Okay, so there's on one of the walls there's like a gauge, a meter gauge with red going into green, kind of like the opposite of what you usually see in a gauge. Over.
Okay. If you need to flip polarity or something. Over.
When I interact with it, it goes into like a zoomed in view of it, and all I see is the needle is just going back and forth like a metronome, and it doesn't make any sound. It's just doing back and forth, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything other than that. But I do have an arrow that actually I can try and interact something with, but not see anything that I'm clicking with. Over.
Okay, first of all, mad props for knowing the exact name of a metronome. I applaud you there, sir. And as for if you interact with that, I'll keep an eye out for anything that happens on my end. Over.
Yeah, at first I thought maybe the game crashed because at like a Windows arrow, a golden Windows arrow came up. So I was wondering if it was, but when I back out of it, I can get away from the interaction. Over.
Understood. Let me know if you come up with anything. I'm looking for things on my end as well. Over.
What I'm hoping is that there's this red light that's blinking against this wall. I can't interact with it. It looks like something that might be important, almost like it needs to be charged. Over.
Okay. I mean, I do have a projector here that doesn't have any film, nor does it have any backlighting for the production of the picture. I mean, maybe you're working on charging that up for me. That's just speculation, though. Over.
Trying to interact with this one. It looks like what would be considered sort of a gauge of, like that sort of gauge where it's like a power gauge, but there's no indicator to click. It's actually interesting. Over.
Perhaps there's some things you have to bring to it, maybe around the room. I'm not sure. Over.
Possibly. I'm also trying to click in the snow-filled areas to see if maybe I can't see anything, but it would change. Over.
I would hope that the interface would not limit you that much, that you would still be able to survive or function with it the way it is. So my fingers are crossed there, but I also know not to assume too much. Over.
Gotcha. Over. Well, at least I was able to interact with it, so that's something that I wasn't sure if I could do. Over.
Understood. I don't see anything here. I do have books. I have about 6 or 7 books scattered around the room that they have symbols on the front cover, and then on the back cover they have texts that are like directional, like starting in the east and go this way so many steps, and then yada yada yada. I don't know if I need to piece them together, but I do know that they are relative to some sort of directional positioning. Over.
Gotcha. Well, this is just pretty much an open circular courtyard with snow, an open sky. So, and then the chessboard is in the middle of it, so I don't see anything where it would be directional, but I'll see if I find anything. Over.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I do think that what you're doing is something to allow me to see this video, this film, on this projector screen here. So whatever you come up with probably will allow me to utilize this. Over.
Yeah, it looks like it would be some sort of power center if it was functioning for me, so we'll see if I can do anything here. Over.
Thank you. Oh.
Oh, okay. All right, I did something. Did it do anything? I basically, when I interact with it, the pendulum keeps going back and forth, right? So when it goes into the green, I backed out, and the needle stayed in the green area. Over. No other indicator for anything else, though, to achieve success. Over.
Let me see if there's anything different on my end then.
And the needle does look like it's in the green area on the spectrum of that gauge. Over. This is tough.
Nothing of note here that I can see, but I mean, I don't know, it's really weird. There was a handle on the bottom spool of this projector. It wasn't spinning, now it is spinning, but still nothing has changed with the actual light or video of that's being shown. There is no video. Oh.
No, gun-based, not a Canadian simulator. Good guess, though. No, it's the, we were there, so if you want to see both PoopShizzle's and my point of view, you can click on that link. It's a cooperative game that he's giving me directions.
Yeah, there's nothing really happening with this projector that I'm...
going through
Over.
these and seeing what we can do. Gotcha. Over. And we were only talking through this push-to-talk walkie-talkie. I walked away for a bathroom break, by mistake, and when I came back, my entire screen was filled in to what you see now. So, there's interaction there.
So is there anything else that you can do with the pendulum metronome thing? Over.
Aha, I think I can. Hold on one second. Over. Aha, I think I lit something up. Basically, as it was going back and forth, I would interact with it as well, and it then lit up three bulbs on this light, and at least it looks like it's generating power now. Over.
Nothing's changed with the...
And I just pushed the one button that's cranking now. The one that was red before, I pushed it and it turned green, and the crank is now moving, so let me know if you see anything new. Over. Yeah, it's really cool. So he sees one point of view. I see this.
Yes, stand by.
If you look at his screen, you'll see something. I'm not looking at it because otherwise it would kind of ruin the whole point. But he's seeing something that he's describing to me, and sometimes he has a glyph and puzzle that he has to describe to me that I have to do something, and vice versa. So in the last area, he walked me through a maze, throwing switches, for example. It's really neat. This version is free, by the way. This is a free version of where we were.
Okay, you with me? Over.
Yep, I am here. Over.
All right, I believe I have to guide you through a quick, like, 7 chess move.
That makes sense. I can actually interact with the chess pieces now. Over.
Okay, stand by. I'm going to have to write this down because there's like 8 or 9 moves, and I'm going to mess them up, and I'm not a chess player, so bear with me. Stand by.
No problem. Over.
All right, we're going to do this because I don't know how long it takes for you to interact with them. This is going to be white moves first. Let me know when you're in position. We're going to be on the king side pawn in front of the king. Over.
Gotcha. That makes sense because I can only currently interact with the white chess pieces. Over.
Okay, then that makes sense. All right, so I don't know how familiar you are with chess. You sound like a smart dude. I imagine you are. We are dealing with the pawn in front of the king. Move him 2 spaces forward, please. Over.
Got it. Over. Pawn moved. Over.
With the same pawn directly in front of him, move 2 forward, 2 spaces. This is queen side or king side pawn moving forward on black. 2 spaces. Over.
Gotcha. So that now there are 2 opposing pawns that can't do anything to each other. Over.
Confirmed. Then you're going to take king side bishop and go 4 spaces out. To the left, obviously.
How many spaces did you say?
4 spaces. You're going to be 2 spaces in front of the pawn.
Board reset. Hold on one second. Hard to see what this... Wonder if there's a way of resetting the board, just because I think I misclicked on one thing and the pawns start to move around. Over.
Can you just not return it?
Try to, but I think it keeps going into the next move. Over. Okay, I think I reset it now. Hold on. Over. right. You said kingside bishop on the white bishop, correct? Over. So I reset the board and I move the both pawns to their opposing positions, and now the next move is, I think, the bishop, correct? Over.
It is the bishop, yes. Move it to from F1 to C4.
Okay. The bishop? Or is it the king? Oh, that's the king. Crap. Alright. Alright. I was thinking that was the king, but that's actually the queen. Alright. Really wish I wasn't impaired here. Come on, reset.
How you doing, boss man?
I had to reset the board again. Hold on. Okay. Alright, so king is this guy. It goes here. Alright. Make sure I'm getting the right. It's C4, so A, B, C. Okay, I've got the bishop now in position at C4. What's next? Over.
You're going to move the pawn in front of the queen side, the black queen side knight. You're going to move the pawn in front of the knight forward.
Okay, so that's the queen, that's the knight. Alright. One move or two? Over.
Single move, over.
Okay, next, over.
You're going to take the white queen out 3 spaces diagonally to the right.
Okay. I think I hit 4 spaces. Hold on, I have to reset. 1 sec. Okay, alright, you go to here. You, come on, you go to here.
Let me know if you need a recap on any of those moves, because it's getting kind of long in the tooth with the game. Over.
Alright, move the bishop back, and then the queen moves to what position on the grid? Over.
Did you get the black pawn first before that?
Did now. Over.
Yeah, white can't cheat and move twice in a row. Once you get the queen out 3 spaces, then you'll move the black knight that you moved the pawn in front of.
3. Basically, the queen's going to go right in front of the next pawn. Over.
Correct. And then the knight on the black side is going to come out in front of the bishop. Over.
Queen side, knight. Over.
Correct.
Okay, next.
After the black knight has been moved, you're going to move the queen, the white queen, forward to capture the pawn in front of the other bishop, and that should be checkmate. Over.
Yep, got it. Over.
Nice. All right, let's see if anything opens up for me. And you should go warm up. Over.
I'm trying to find a door that I can go through. Over. Oh, I think I see one. Over. Maybe?
Yeah, nothing's changed on my side. Over.
No, the green light was just the green power areas. Let me try and see if I can find a room. Over. Don't see any door. Man, this snow is rough. Ah, I'm back inside. Over.
Yep, I just got a checkpoint
Wow,
notification.
my eyes on that white. It was so. You have to go back and check my stream. That was so intense. How tunnel vision that was. Over.
Yeah, I popped in a little bit whenever you were on the bio break, and I was like, "What is all?" I thought it was like a be right back screen. Oh.
All right. So the next room I'm in is a open square room with a book in front with 5 symbols on 2 pages and a raised platform with spikes on either side, but a clear center. Over.
That sounds ominous. What do the symbols look like? Over.
First one kind of looks like a cat flower. Second one looks like just feet without a stickman feet without a head or maybe like hips. And then the third symbol is that crazy lollipop thing with the curly at the bottom and it looks like under a table thing. And then the fourth symbol is looks like a boxer raising their hands in triumph, and then that crazy wide mouth dude at the end. Over.
Okay, what was the fourth symbol again? Over.
Fourth one looks like basically a boxer, so it's a stick man with 2 circles for hands with hands upraised. Over.
Are the legs curved or flat? Over.
Flat. Over.
Like he's standing on like he just has like one solid mass leg and then it's flat on the floor. Over.
Yes, basically if you imagine a T on top of a line, a horizontal line. Over.
Got it. Okay, so I believe I know exactly what you're looking at. I just want to confirm the symbols one more time. I'm going to read them back to you. Stand by.
Roger.
All right, so I'm looking at a cat flower thing. No curves, all angular lines. Over.
Correct. Over.
All right, the next one looks like kind of like cartoony legs with a small T at the top. Very skinny, very tall, and very flat circles for feet. Over.
Correct. Over. Almost as big as the cat flower. Over.
Understood. Next one's the lollipop with the curvy side on the right and then the curvy underneath. Over.
Correct. Over.
All right, and then the last one, I already confirmed the fourth one. The last one is the the surprised square mouth, square eyed face dude with a 3-line hair.
Correct.
Over.
The 2 tufts on either side. Correct. Over.
All right, I'm going to read you some instructions here, and I believe this is to get you through whatever you're about to go through. And the fact that you said spikes leads me to believe that I'm guiding you through a maze. Over.
Makes sense because the raised floor looks like blocks and what you would expect in a pattern like this. Over.
Okay, I'm going to do my best not to get you killed, sir. So it tells me here I have directions as in like east, west, and all that stuff. This is the text, the first line of the text, starting in the far east. Over.
Okay. And the book, by the way, is on top of a compass where the front is straight ahead of me is northwards. Over.
Understood. Wherever you can start west, I can't help you there. I just have text. Over.
Did you say far east or far west? Over.
Far west, west, as in whiskey west.
Gotcha. Over.
The second line of the text.
I'm reset though. I'm okay. Over.
Northbound. Over.
Oh, sorry. Repeat again. Over.
Oh, I'm sorry. The second text is the second line in the text says take 2 steps northbound. Over.
try not to keep dying here. Hold on. Over.
Have you died already? Over.
Yeah, it reset me back to the beginning. Like, it resets me back to the book. Over.
Well, for what it's worth, I haven't noticed you gone or back at all, so keep it up.
So my first position I'm back is, the first block is the westwards one, so it's the leftmost block on the grid. Over. So the second instruction is to go 2 north. Over.
Take 2 steps northbound. Over.
Okay, next. Over.
Head east twice. Over.
Okay, over. Next instruction.
Then after moving north 2 times, so I'm assuming north 2 moves. Over.
Alright, let's do this. West, north twice. Ah. Alright, I'm resetting. Basically what happens is, looks like I have to step on the stairs leading to the grid to go left first. Hold on.
No problem. Just let me know if you need me to go over some of this text.
Okay, so the first step was west, then 2 north.
East.
Interesting,
Over.
I can't pause, so when I go, like, if I do step, that's where it kills me. I have to do immediate 2, not without any pausing. Over.
Understood. All right, so I'm going to write these down so I can read them to you faster. Stand
Gotcha.
by.
Over. Okay. Okay.
All right, this is what I've got from the text, and they're kind of confusing. They're trying to be tricky here, so I'm doing my best to read it. We're starting far west, 2 north, 2 east, 2 north, 1 west, straight to exit. Over.
Can you repeat that again? Over.
Sure thing. Starting west, 2 north, 2 east, 2 north, 1 west, straight to the exit. Over.
Gotcha. Over. Let me try. Okay, west. Okay. So it looks like I have to start from the staircase, move over. Come on. To east. Oh, I must do it. Wonder if it's timed, just because it seems like if I go too slow it might get me, even though I'm doing the right moves. Over.
Understood. I mean, I could be interpreting these wrong, but I can read it to you, and you can put a second set of ears on it to see the instructions if you want. It's up to you. Over.
Let me try another time and see. If not, I'll maybe try that. Over. Okay, so 2 north, 2 east, 2 north, west. Okay. timer thing. Okay, how about this? Alright, the heck. So the one I'm having issue with is I can go west, then 2 north, and 2 east, but whenever I try to go 2 north after that is where I end up still dying over.
Okay, so this is the exact text. I'm going to read it to you and you tell me if I'm interpreting it wrong. There's a strong chance I could be. Starting in the far west, take 2 steps northbound. Head east twice. Then, after moving north 2 times, one can head for the door after taking 1 step towards the western wall. Over.
That seems to be the interpretation I would take. Wonder if I have to change my orientation as opposed to like strafing sideways. Over.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't think this game would be that specific, but it's worth a shot. Over.
Maybe. Or maybe I need to start at the westernmost, then go 2 north, 2 east. Nah. So this would be the 2 north, 2 east. No. No, just west, starting with the west. So I can. To east. Try if I go one more.
So you're saying after the 2 steps east, if you go anywhere else, you die? Over?
Seems to be yes. Over.
Just for poops and grins here, try this. I don't know if you can do it, but let's try it. Go. So you start the starting point, go north 2, and then go 2 east, and then go 1 west, and then go for the exit. So leave out the second north 2 steps. Over.
So west 2 north, then another 2 north. Over.
No, we're going to leave out the second set of 2 north steps. So this is your starting point west, 2 north, 2 east, 1 west, straight to exit.
Gotcha. Over. Interesting. That theory. See if I go this way, I can backtrack without dying. Or if I'm just touching. Interesting that I can backtrack without dying, so I'm just trying a few different combinations here. Over.
Understood. I'm checking in the other books to see if there's anything similar that we might be misconstruing. Oh.
So that was 2 north. This would be 2 east. The timer? Let me see if it's a timer thing. If I go just 1 west first. Okay, let's take too long here. Interesting. I paused. Okay, so you can't pause. That I kind of know. I think I touched it. That's what's happening.
Are you starting in the western center or western corner? Over.
So lower left western corner. Over.
Okay, I'm going to give you another set of instructions. Let's try these. Hang on. Let me know when you're in position to start. Over.
Alright, I'm ready. Over.
Alright, you're going to start moving north, but stop before you get to the last tile, so the second to last tile. Over.
Negative. As soon as I go north once, it kills me. Over.
Okay, then we do have the right book. That confirms that. I don't know if there's another way to interpret this then.
There is a little bit of timing that's into it as well, so I'm trying to see if when I pause in the middle of a second move, it seems to kill me. So I want to see if there's a timing thing that I'm running into here. Over.
Understood. Like maybe it's just one continuous movement. Over.
That's what I'm thinking. Over. So gotta go this, gotta go like this, gotta go like this. If I try to do this, let's try this. Interesting. Okay, so that's wrong. Western corner. That's wrong. Let's see. Okay, just make sure, because that does point.
Any luck, sir?
Not so far. That's that same spot that keeps tricking me up. Over.
So you go 2 north, 2 east, and then you're fine. It's the next north step that kills you, correct? Over.
Yes, although occasionally if I take too long on any of those, the next move kills me either way. Over. But if I do one contiguous motion where I go starting west, go 2 north, 2 east, and then try and go 2 north, the very first north kills me. Over.
And you've tried every possible direction coming out of that before you die. Over.
Yeah, I tried strafing and turning. It didn't seem to make an effect other than being slower. Sometimes I'll die because it's just taking me longer to not make a contiguous movement. Over.
Gotcha, understood.
Let's see. That's where it's north, right? Yeah.
Is there anything on the book or anything that looks different? Like the symbols maybe? Over.
Like if I died and it reset the symbols? No. Over.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe if you died it might have reset the map or something, but no. Let me see if I can do something here. Hang on.
That time it took 2 steps north and it's janked me up.
What if you don't start on the tile, you start off the tile, and your first step is the first tile on the board? Over.
Sort of like skipping the first west. Over.
Yeah, so like it's just giving you a point of origin, but your first movement north is onto the board totally. Over.
Right. It's kind of like what I'm doing. There's 2 steps that come up to the board, and then if I go straight up again, it kills me immediately. If I go like cat-a-corner left, it kills me. So the only time I don't die going up onto the board is when I go into that westernmost first spot. Over.
Okay. And you go, do you start on the square that's on the board, or do you start outside the board on the western side?
Normally, depending on my timing, I can go the step and then hook left, but if I touch any of the other squares, it will kill me as soon as I touch that first west board. So normally what I've been doing more successfully is jumping onto the board right onto the westernmost block. Over.
Okay. What if the first movement north is your first step onto the board? So you start in the western corner, but you're not on the board yet. You don't step onto the board until you take your first step north. Over.
Let me try again. I think I tried that combination thinking that, but let me try it one more time. Over. See if the timing is off here. Aha. I think that might be getting there. It actually got a little further this time. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, because it may be confusing, whereas like your starting point is off the board, but on the far west. Over.
Yep, I think I'll get it this time. Hold on. Huzzah.
Hey.
It's very tricky with the timing. Like you have to actually turn. By the way, the strafing does not work. You have to actually make the turn in order to, before you can turn to the other direction. Over.
Understood. All right. It probably is kind of finicky too. I don't know if the hitbox is kind of janky. Over.
Gotcha. Over.
I have a new hallway. Stand by. I have a new room.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's feature show.
I just heard a voiceover. Did you as well? Over.
I did. I heard like an announcement saying "Welcome to the show." Over.
Exactly. Over. So I look like I'm probably backstage of a theater. And the reason why I say that is I came through the door and there's an open room with 2 exits, but on my right hand side there's a wardrobe and there's a sign that says scene 1 and another sign that says blood light in red. Over.
Okay, that's pretty cool because I'm actually in the audience. I'm looking at a stage, so I guess that's pretty cool. Either side of the stage, I do not have access to. There are closed doors. I don't see any markings, anything except just stadium-style seating. Over.
Yeah, I'm definitely backstage because there's various, stage props behind that might be operated by these levers in front of me. Over.
Understood. I'm trying to jump onto the stage, but I don't think I'm allowed on the stage. I am literally in a spectator mode. There's nothing in here for me to interact with that I can see. Over.
Gotcha. Over. Now the two switches are labeled Scene 1, which is in white and is up. The second switch is Blood Light, which is down and red. Down, as if it was in a down position. Over.
All right, I'm an idiot. I just didn't click on the doors. I can actually get onto the stage. I see a gramophone in the corner here. I see a trap door in the back, and then I see 3 tracks that look like they may be different backgrounds at the back of the stage. Over.
I do also have a trap door here as well that looks like I can interact, but it doesn't seem to respond to me. Over.
Confirmed. I look down at the trap door. Do you look up at it?
No,
Over.
funny enough, I'm looking down at the trap door, and in front of it are 6 pulley cranks as well. Over.
Understood. I'm going to go ahead and push this gramophone and see what happens. Stand by. Over. Did you hear that text?
No,
Over?
didn't hear anything. I'm just hearing normal background music. Over.
Okay, so I heard a voiceover that says there once was a castle filled with life, and there's this creepy shadow witch thing at the very back of the auditorium giving me the mean mug.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to go near it. It will kill me. Over.
Tis a scratch. Over. Okay, when I interact with the levers, the cranks, I should say, it gives me... there's 2 rows of cranks. There's an upper row of 3 and a lower row of 3. Over.
Okay, that makes sense. Can you see like anything background or prop-wise that would let you tell the story that I'm hearing on my end? Over.
Yep, there are props in the background that would probably move out on skids. Over.
Okay, yeah, so I'm on a time here. There's a creepy witch thing floating towards me, and I will die if I get close to it. The first line of the play was, there once was a castle filled with life. Over. I see an arch coming through.
Okay. Alright, I'm pulling various levers to see if anything happening. Over.
I see an arch that's moving across the center track. It has a castle on the back of the arch. So I'm assuming it is part of the castle act. I don't know. Over.
Did they reset? Over.
They did not. There's another one starting to sneak out here. It looks like some kind of Joker dude. I don't know. I can halfway see it. Over. The archway just moved to the middle of the track. It's dead center stage. Over.
Okay, I keep pulling the lever to the left with it, so it's probably moving along the stage. Over. Is the archway still there on the stage? Over.
Correct. It has not moved. It just moved to the right. You're retracting it now.
Makes sense. I'm
Over.
going the other direction. Over. Okay. So that crank moves the archway. Over. I'm trying another crank. Hold on. Over. Oh.
Okay.
Yep, I can
you
hear
hear me? Okay, I'm not having to push. I have to retry from the checkpoint because I ran towards the creepy witch thing and it
gotcha.
killed me.
Now,
So if you'll ready up.
Is it
unless-
I didn't do
unless-
anything. So did it approach you, or did you just go out to the scene, maybe, or the audience?
I approached it. I wanted to see what would have happened. As I get closer, my screen starts to like black vision in,
Right.
like when you're blacking out, and it's kind of creepy looking. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure how much further we have. I'm okay to keep going, but I don't know if you are, so it's up to
Let's
you.
try this other scene, and then maybe, depending on how long we'll take, we'll see from there.
Okay, cool. It says I clicked retry from checkpoint. It says 1 of 2, so I'm assuming you.
There we go. Yeah, I had to hit it as well. Over. Oh, I'm back at the. I'm back at that platform with the spikes again. Over.
Oh, goody. All right. Are your symbols the same on the book?
Of course not. Over.
All right. Well, let's see what we got here. What do you got? They're all kind of similar.
They're similar, but they're different in some ways. So the cat is now more on the ground, so it's a cat head on the ground. So there's no body to the cat flower anymore. Over. So it's like a cat head on a flat horizontal line.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the next one. Does the next one kind of resemble a penis? Over.
With a line through the top? Yes, over.
All right, the next one looks like a three-legged with the tail curved with a horizontal circle line at the top.
Yes, it does, over.
Then the next one is the boxer dude, but he has curvy legs and a curvy arms, and he has got a really long third leg. Over.
Tripod boxer, yes, over.
And then we've got the shocked square man with the
That
hair.
is correct,
Over.
yep, over.
All right, that's our book. Stand by. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Over.
Okay, the book kind of glitched out, but I can still read it. All right, so it says before one starts in the east, take 1 step westward. Then start by taking 2 steps north. I would assume you're going to hop on the second to right square first. Over.
That would make sense, over. So that's interesting. Now that I look at the board again after completing it, the staircase that leads up into the board, there is a left brick and a right brick. They're not distinctive, but you can kind of see what they mean by west side or east side now. Over.
Okay, cool. Okay. So, were you able to find your starting area? Over.
Yes, I went to north. Over. So it was 1 west, then 2 north. Yep, over.
Okay, now you need to move 1 step west and then 2 more steps north. Over.
Okay. Stand by. It's a little finicky. Over.
I think I chose the right partner in this because this patience thing that other people would not possess for this part, I can guarantee you that.
Thanks. 1 west, then 2 north. 1 west. Alright, I'm able to go 1 west, then the 2 north, then the 1 west. What's after that?
One step north.
Okay.
And then west to the wall, and then straight off. Over.
Bingo. All right, we're in the room now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's feature show.
Okay, before I hit the phonograph thing, can you see any of the props, or do you just see switches?
I can
Over.
see the props actually. On the right-hand side, props, there's that archway, which kind of has like a little bit of a castle symbol on it, but it's an archway that you saw earlier. And then in front of that, there's like just a vertical prop, but it has a crown symbol on it. Over.
Okay, that might be identifiers for you. I would assume the one that has the crown, or not the crown. You said it was a archway. The one that has the archway would be the castle, and then you said the other one was like a crown. Maybe that's like a king or something. Over.
Yep, that's very possible. And then the other side, the first prop is three look like kids or people running and dancing. Then a sword, and then I can't quite make out what the third one is. Over.
Okay, so we're dealing with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 scenes, I'm assuming. So I would imagine that it's going to be randomly generated like the last puzzle was.
Yep,
Over.
makes sense. Now, I still haven't done like switch the scene 1 or the blood light at all. There's 2 switches. One, the scene 1 in white lever is in the up position, and the blood light is in the down position. Over.
Go ahead and try to flip those, see what happens. Over.
I hit the scene 1, it went down, then back up again without any seeming effect. Over.
Okay, what about blood light?
I flipped blood light up, and it stayed in the up position.
Okay, there is a new light on the stage itself. That is, looks like it's in a spot on stage left. You're right if you're looking at it
That
from
makes
the
sense.
back.
It's probably the spotlight blood light, obviously.
Okay, so maybe there's like a murder scene and you have to show that by putting light
I
on it.
just turned it
Over.
back down. Did it do anything? Over.
The light is off.
Okay.
Over.
That would make sense then. All right, I'll hold on that one. I'll keep it off right now until instructed. Over.
Okay, can you manipulate the props to maybe see the one? You said you couldn't see some of them. Like, there's 3 tracks, and you were able to see 2 of them. Can you move any of the props right now before we get the scene? Over.
Out of the 2 rows of levers, the top row only 2 of the levers are functional. The bottom row, all 3 are functional. Over.
Interesting. I wonder if I have to fix it from my end. Oh, I'm seeing you move something out right now. Over.
I'm going to keep moving it in the same direction. So I'm moving the same lever, and I'm moving it clockwise. Over.
Understood. I'm watching the archway move on the center track out onto the stage right now. Over.
Is it still moving? I'm rotating it, but I don't hear a sound. Over.
Okay, it is not moving anymore. Over. I think you have gone as far as you can with that prop. Over.
And if I go counterclockwise, over.
Starting to retract. Over.
And clockwise, over.
It moves it back out. So clockwise is out for that side, and counterclockwise is in for that side. Let's try another one. Over.
Sounds good. Now, was I able to back away from the levers without resetting things? So on the right-hand side, the only thing left is the king, knight, the crown king type prop of whatever it is. Over.
Understood. What about on the left? Can you move any of those out?
Let me
so I
try
can
and
see
move
what
the
they look-
crown king out, because it's the other one that's functional on that row. Over.
Understood. Over. Okay, that is a king character on a track.
Okay,
correct.
good.
Over.
So that's all the props from the right-hand side. My side does stage right. Over.
For just real quick, have you rotated the king all the way out as far as you can? Over.
Let me try again one more time. Over. I rotated it 2 more times. Did it move? Over.
It did not. Throw on the bloodlight real quick. Let's see if it's right on him. Over. Okay, so I believe that is as far as that prop can go, and it is right in the red spotlight. So now we know. Next side. Over.
Okay, I'm gonna flip the bloodlight again. Over. I'm moving the first prop and see if it moves. Over.
Okay, that is looks like a queen prop. It's on the first track. The back of it has a queen symbol on it. Over.
That was probably the one I couldn't see. Over.
Makes sense. All right. You're good to
Yep,
go.
confirm. That's the one I couldn't see when I went over to the left side there. Over.
All right. Let's look at the other 2 props because I think they have something to do with the story. Over. Okay, that one is the king character, but he has a knife with blood on his face and on the blade. Over.
Okay, interesting.
And you can actually extend him to where he's standing in the arch. Over.
Okay, so he can move further over. Over.
Did you move the queen as far over as she could, or can she go further? Over.
I'm cranking it a couple times. Let me know if it's moving. Over.
Queen has now moved to the opposite side of where king is as far as king can move. Over.
Okay, alright. Let me try the third one now. Over.
Okay, that one has 2, like, I guess, peasants or noble people and a jester. And I believe you can go as far as center with that one as well. So, like, it looks like it's under the arch as well. Over.
Okay, I've got a piece of paper in front of me that I'm making a grid. So, that's the jester, right? Over.
It's 3 people. It's like 2 peasants or 2 people, and the jester's entertaining
Gotcha.
them. Over.
I'm going to return him back and see if I can go through and map out this. Hold up. Over.
And I can help you too. I have a pretty good idea of what you can and can't do, and I think the story that is told, I have to tell you which pieces to move out. Over.
That's what I'm thinking. That way I'll know what lever controls what piece, basically. Over. Which one's moving now?
Got it.
Over.
That is the king that is murdering, has a sword and blood on his face. Over.
Got ya. Alright. Is it still on the stage?
Those 2 props, the jester and that king. Oh, the king just moved completely out. The jester is still partially on stage.
Okay.
Over.
Okay.
Good to go.
Alright, which one's moving now?
That is queen. She's being retracted.
Okay,
over.
got it. Over. At least they kept the positions correct. It's not like you have to reverse your mind and left and right. It's clockwise is on stage, counterclockwise is off stage. Over.
Respective to what side they're coming
Yeah,
from?
it doesn't matter
Over.
which side they're coming from. It's the same result. Over.
Okay, good. That would be confusing.
Okay. Now which one is moving here?
The king that is just standing there, the non-murderous king one is now
Gotcha.
off stage.
I've been doing the king and murder king now. Over.
Yeah.
So this last one's the archway. Over.
Still on stage. Stage is clear.
Excellent. And then the one switch I can't control, so that's probably where there's a broken third item on that row. Oh, doesn't appear anywhere. Over.
I can look through the slats in the wall that they come out of, and I don't see anything. I mean, I don't think I see anything on them, but who knows?
It looks like this side only has 2 items, even though there are 3 tracks. There's only 2 items on this side. Over.
Understood. All right, I'm ready to hit the gramophone if you are. Ready?
Yep, good.
All right, here we go. Castle filled with life, so pull out the castle and the jester all the way to mid. Over. Castle's good. Over. Try hitting the act switch now. Over. Or
Yep,
the
scene 2.
scenes.
There once was a castle filled with life.
This is cool. Alright, it says scene 2 now.
Life. Over. I'm assuming the same pieces. Over.
Okay, so the arch and the jester.
King and queen out on stage, please.
Pretty cool.
Okay, try the switch for scene. Over.
This time it still says scene 2. Over.
Okay, pull off the life and the castle, maybe? Pull off the jester and the castle?
Makes sense. Maybe we didn't need to bring them back. Over.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Over.
Do you have that thing coming after you, by the way, at this moment?
Yeah, it's on its way, but we're fine. Okay, those are off. You can try just the king and queen. Over.
Still scene 2.
Maybe put the castle back on, but lose the people. Over.
I can actually hear whether it's moving or not and when it's done. Okay, so I put the castle back on. Do I need to do anything else? Over.
Nothing yet. Try the scene thing again. Over.
There you go.
And there lived a king with his wife.
I do hear the voiceover when he talks about that there, just as a summary. Over. I don't hear your gramophone though. Over.
All were happy and all were good. What do you think? Just the people? Maybe no castle? Over? The jester?
Yeah, let's try just the jester. Happy and good. Over.
This is kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it is. Wonder if should I put the Archie thing too? Over.
Let's leave the castle off real quick. Try the scene button. Over.
I tried, but it didn't.
Go.
Did not work that time. Over.
Queen on by herself, maybe, or put the queen on with the other two. Over. Lose the castle.
Try doing the king, which is all people that are happy. First. Over.
Happy. He has a frown. King does not need to be here. Over.
Gotcha. Over.
Lose the castle. Everybody else has smiley faces. Over.
Alright, I tried again, it didn't move. Over.
Over.
Repeat. Over.
I am out of ideas. Over.
All were happy and all were...
All were happy and all was good.
Happy and all was good. Maybe I'll try the king.
You can, sure. He had a frowny face though.
Maybe he's good but not happy.
There you go. Try it.
No.
We tried the jester, right? And we tried the jesters with the castle,
Let
right?
me put the castle back on and the king and see. Maybe it's everything except for the murder king.
The king off, by the way. Over.
That was it.
All were happy and all
Everything but murder king, basically. Okay, next scene. Over.
Until the king killed all he could. Remove all the people, leave the castle, and put the murder king on.
Remove everything but the murder king. Over.
I'm assuming so. It says kill all that he could. I don't think I can get to the gramophone again though. The witch is closer.
Bring out the murder king, right?
Yes, and we still have the queen and we still have the queen on the stage. Over. And bloodlight, I'm thinking. Over.
Try without the arch. Over.
Sounds good. Over.
No.
Maybe the people on. Over.
I'm going black myself as well. Over.
Try that.
Try to get
Over.
television. Over.
Okay, back the murder king off one move. Over.
Okay, is it good? Over.
Murder King has not moved yet. Over. There you go. Now try it. Over.
We try without the people and just have the Murder King in a better position. Over.
Well. Over.
Put the arch back out, maybe. Over.
You can center up the king too, maybe. Over. Or maybe it's just the regular king. Over.
Gotcha. Over.
Oh, I think if they move one more time, I'm dead. Alright, try that. Over.
Is the regular king in the bloodlight? Over.
It is. It is. Yes. Over.
Maybe just regular king without the archway. Over. Not sure. Over.
I have no idea. Over. Oh wait, the bloodlight was just now turned on.
Just on now?
Over.
Over.
Yeah, it was on now. We may have to reset it. Over. The other king is still on too. Over. Maybe the castle?
Thinking over. Out of ideas. Over.
I am too, and I think I'm about to die anyway.
Yeah,
Over.
when I'm near the levers, get tunnel vision. If I back away from the levers, I can still see again. Over. Haha.
King killed all who could.
Scene 5.
I can hardly see. What was that? Over.
That was it was Murder King, Jester with people, and maybe the Queen.
I can't move to the box though. I will die.
That was people, Murder King. You can't get to the gramophone. Ah.
Nope. Up to you if you want to try again, brother.
One more time.
I think it's a cool
Yep.
game. It's just, I mean, it's a little janky at some
Yep.
parts. All right. I think we got a better idea now.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm assuming we're back at the map.
Yep. Oh, it's the original one again.
All right. Let me know when you get some symbols.
So it shows the original book, so I think I can do this one. Over.
Nicely done.
Cool. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen,
All right, so
welcome to tonight's feature show.
Let me see if the levers still control the same artifacts. I assume they do, but
a dirtbag move if they didn't.
yeah, I would imagine the story would only move over. This is the arch, over.
Yes, you are good to go.
And Murder King, over.
You're good to
Okay,
go there.
let's
Yep.
assume the rest is good, over.
All right.
You can play the gramophone, over.
You can go ahead and get the first one in action. Yeah.
Yeah, safe to assume probably the archway's there.
The archway is. I think you got to get. Was it the people? Well. Just the jester crowd, over. Oh, it retracted them. You got to pull those back out, over.
Did the ghost come, or witch, or whatever it is, that come towards you, apparition, does it do it based on errors or time, over?
I feel like it's timed.
Gotcha,
Over.
Alright, maybe play the gramophone and we'll see if it changes the story completely, over.
People out first, over. There you go.
Alright.
You can hit the scene switch.
There once was a castle filled with life.
Okay, I think the castle king and queen are next. Over. Did you just hear wind chimes? Over.
I hear music with wind chimes, but I don't know if it's actually anything other than that, over.
Okay. Over. Queen and castle are in place.
Interface is acting janky now, I don't know why, over.
It's just not working right
Before
now.
it would zoom in on the box, and then I would hit each lever. Now it's like I can independently hit any lever, but when I point at the right lever for the king, it's only still doing the queen, over.
Try a couple other levers maybe and then come back to it.
They're still the same, over.
So you can't bring the king out?
There we go, maybe now.
You need to center up the castle again. Over. Okay, you should be good on the scene switch.
And there lived a king with his wife.
Okay, next.
I think it's everything except the murder king. Over.
This is kind of annoying that I'm trying to do this interface and yeah, I'm trying to bring everything else, but it keeps doing the queen only, crank only.
I can run towards the creature and reset it if you want.
Yeah, maybe do that just because it's acting really weird. Like it's only ever doing the queen now. Over. Yeah, it's almost like the
Yeah,
hot
that is
points
weird.
got gunked up for some reason because they were all lit as opposed to zooming in and then you picking. So.
Hmm.
It looks like the same one again, so I'll take a run.
You're a pro.
Glad it's the same one. Over.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's feature show.
All right, you ready? I can start the gramophone
Yep.
now if you want.
Go for it.
Oh, I think I know why it messed up, because if you had stuff out there and then we started it, maybe. Let's see if it'll work. Go.
Okay. What's the gramophone say? What's the stage props needed? Over.
It's already started up. Over.
Interface looks okay.
Is it-
Over.
I'm sorry, I talked over you.
The
Try come
interface
again.
is
Over.
working again. Over.
Okay, yeah, we're already on the clock. You can go ahead and start the first scene. Over.
Is it changing the scene or no?
I'm not seeing anything come out. Now I am. Now I am. Over.
There once was a castle filled with life.
Next one was Archway, King and Queen, right? Over.
Over.
Sorry, we talked over each other. Over.
King, queen, and castle. Over.
Roger, over.
Yeah, this thing looks kind of janky because every time we do it right, everything disappears then reappears. Over.
Alright, I got the Arch, King, and Queen over, right? Over.
Looks good. Hit the scene. Over.
There lived a king with his wife.
Everything but the Killer King. Over.
Everything but the middle one there. Is everything out now? Over.
Yes, you can hit the switch. Over. Oh, the king needs to come out a little bit further. Over. There you go. Oh.
All were happy and all was good.
Okay, next scene is
I believe it's Killer. And was it 1? Was it the Killer King and the castle?
I think it was Killer and Castle. I don't remember after that.
The other props are still out for me. Are they still out for you? Over?
Yeah, it's weird how it doesn't always reset. Over.
Okay, got it.
So...
The Jester and the Queen are still out. Over.
Okay, what is next? I have the Murder King and Archway, right? Anything else? Over.
Out except for the Good King. I think that's what we need to do. I'm sorry,
Repeat
over.
again? Over.
I think we need to leave everything out except the Good King because he kills everything. Over.
Do you want the Murder King out too? Or over?
Yeah, Murder King is already out. Bring the crowd and the Queen back out. Over. All right, now try that. Over.
Yep.
Until king kill all concur.
Okay, that should be scene
This
4,
is actually
correct?
scene 5. And they retract it. Over.
Okay, so now we need to... I think it's just the Murder King, or excuse me, it's just the King, the regular King in the Bloodlight,
Gotcha.
the Bloodlight, regular. Right, over. A little bit further out. Over. Right there. Over.
Stand
Yep.
in blood, he proudly said.
Trapdoor's open.
The trapdoor opened, but I don't know.
Doesn't look like I can go down the trapdoor though. Over.
Okay, I held the interact button on it, and then I fell in. Over.
You try that. Over. Yep.
I
got it.
looked
Over.
down in. I think I see you. Over.
Hey.
I think we still have to talk to each other, though.
Yeah, probably true. That's kind of silly. Hi, I'm right here. Over.
All right, so this looks like a pressure plate that opens that gate. If you want to push on and see what's over there. Go ahead. Are
Yep.
you
Can you
there?
hear me now? Directly?
I think, yeah.
Is that it? Did you not get out? Like, when I left, did it close behind me?
All right, you might have to unmute Discord because I think the game disconnected us.
All right, how about now? Okay.
There we go. A little abrupt there on the ending. I think I just sacrificed myself for you.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, huzzah! That was
Well,
cool.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I wasn't sure if that means, like, did it close behind
Maybe
me?
down to-
Like, when I left, did it close behind me?
Like as you reached the end of the hallway, it just faded to black and it said
Later, nerds.
something like, yeah, basically it showed you walking off in a field
Cool.
of snow. So That
That
was
was
pretty
good,
cool. I
yeah.
enjoyed that. That was neat. I got my final achievement. I don't know if it's gonna be different than yours. Let me pull
Yeah,
up
let's see
Steam
what.
here.
I saw something come across. I didn't know what it was though.
Yeah,
Worst friend ever.
and
I
the
got worst
achievement was
friend
why
ever.
Yeah. Mine says why me
G-
stayed behind.
Got out
all
and
alone.
left your friend behind. 31.4% of players have achieved this one.
That's
I
awesome.
I did get
That's
a
pretty cool.
Vlad the Impaler for perfect play spike call. So maybe one of the subsequent resets got it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, like you ran through it twice
Yeah,
without
because it
doing anything, right?
restarted to the first book, so it was the first one again, which is pretty cool.
Well, that was pretty cool. I'd be down to try
Yeah,
the other
no,
ones.
definitely. I already got the whatever the newest one is, and I'll actually even pick up the other one because this is fun. I like it. So I think we were still on sale anyway.
Yeah, I like the idea. Hopefully, the other ones are more polished. This one felt a little janky at
Yeah,
times.
and this was the first, right? If I recall the series, it was like we were here, and then
Yeah,
what was it?
I
It was
don't.
like we were here, we're still here, and we're here together, and there might be one more.
We were here
That's right.
too. I think is the second one. Yeah, this came out in February of 2017,
Okay.
so it's a
Well, I
little
think the most recent one is fairly recent, right? I think if I recall, it was what would it say? It came out in
We were here together, like 2020, I think,
we're
right?
here together. Yeah, October 10th, 2019. So here together is 2019. Maybe there's a newer one. Let's see. What's the bundle?
Maybe
What's the
I might
bundle?
be off.
So we were here 2 supporter edition. That one was 2018.
I
Yeah,
like it. It's pretty
that's
cool.
different. It's neat to have that kind of a co-op sort of experience, which is neat.
Well, I really like games that are creative this way. It kind of it made me feel like it was the you know that game where you have the bomb, one person has the manual and the
Yeah,
other person has the
yeah,
bomb. It's that premise except like much more in
right.
depth.
Hmm.
So, well, awesome. I'm gonna call it quits
Sounds
there
good.
for the evening. Let me know when would be a good time to work on the other ones if
Yep,
you ever
sounds
get a
good.
chance to.
Yeah, if you want to do like something where it's like once a week, or if you want to do it even later in the week, or maybe early next week, that would probably be good. That works.
My schedule is pretty wide open. Basically, I can do Sunday through Wednesday, any night. So sometimes Saturday just depends on if I have to work a volleyball game. But other than that, it's
Cool.
up to you because I'm the stay-at-home dad. I don't have to work as much as some other people do in the world, so I can work around your
Gotcha.
schedule.
Not a problem. Sunday night's usually pretty good too, so that might work if you want to tentatively say this Sunday night. So,
Okay.
and then we'll figure out which one of it
Well,
is.
that was
We'll
awesome.
see
I
how
had a
this
good
orders. But I'm just gonna get the bundle because I already own the newest one because that was really cheap. It was like $4. Yeah, $4.99 is together. And
Yeah.
I think we were here 2 is the only one that's not on a sale. It's still $9.99, so it's not bad. Still have some Steam credit. So
Awesome.
cool. Well, thanks for inviting me and thanks for playing.
I'll pick
That
them
was
up
fun.
too.
I liked it.
Yeah, no worries. It was just weird because I saw it like on my recommended list, and then I looked for people who had it, and you were like the only one. So I was like, all right, I'll ping them.
Yeah,
See
and
what's
the
up.
only reason I had it is the Humble Bundle. I didn't actually buy it. Now I think about it. I had it from the Humble Bundle from just last month. It was August, and I'll skip certain Humble Bundles like sometimes where it's like a month that was like, wow, that was really not a great month, and so I'll like maybe skip the next month after that, or if I'm just trying to keep myself from monthly costs every single month. Unless something really looks amazing, then I can change my mind. You can kind of change your mind on it, but I've got just
Yeah. What do you mean you don't like picking up all the ones that have C++
right.
and
Yeah,
Java running?
exactly. Well, at least this is the game bundle. It's not even those. I've gotten a couple of those where the video edit ones that were pretty cheap a couple times in the past. But I have the subscription, but you can opt to skip like you can with other things like Loot Crate and other things. You could say skip this next month or skip the month or whatever it is. But still not too bad. But I have an entire collection under Steam that I created a group that's just called Humble Bundle, so that I remember which ones I got from Humble Bundle. So.
Yeah, I need to be more better. I need to be more organized. That's a pain of mine too because I have a lot of stuff that I'm like, I don't know if I got like a list of codes. I don't
Mhm.
even know if they're good, and I can't check them because if I check them, then they activate on
Right.
my account, and like if I want to give them away,
Yeah,
I
there's a couple
can't.
where I
So
got like I forget what game it was even, and I gave it to one of my nephews. He's like, I know I had it already, and it was a game I owned. And certain months you pick like 9 out of 12 selections. Well, the last few months they've been giving you 12 out of 12, so like you're pretty much getting anything that they have in their selection. But so that's how I got Moonlighting, for example. Moonlighting is fun, little old school RPG sort of game, and you're running a tavern where adventures come in, and you go out at night to find equipment for those RPG heroes to come in, so they can actually do stuff, and you give them swords and stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool.
that sounds cool.
It's got the old style, like the bit graphics, but it's still neat. It's a fun game. So I got a couple of those like that. That was enough to keep you
for
right
sure.
coming back. That's how they get you.
You're I was watching your No Man's Sky prior to starting the game, and like they have totally changed how
Oh
that
yeah,
game looks. Because last time I played it, it was still like first person view. You didn't even have third
yeah,
person
and you
view.
can change that in both the star view as well as the person. And it's funny because I've had the game since launch, but like you said, it's like they've changed so much. And I played a little bit when it first came out, and then Destiny 2 obviously came out at that point. That kind of pulled me away. But that would come back every so often. But right before this last update, Origins is a huge update. I don't know if you followed it or not, but this new one added completely new dimensions to the graphics. Like they reset all new worlds, so they didn't get rid of any existing worlds, but they created new atmospheres and new sort of creatures and pack effects and pack mentality and herd mentality, and they actually added sandworms like a la Dune, star styles, and they've actually improved the graphics on the
Nice.
atmosphere so that you can approach a planet, you can see if there are storms. So the old planets that you already discovered, they didn't really change too much of those. They did a little bit of improvement of fauna and sort of things that are there. So some of your bases, they didn't want to mess with the bases too much. Although I did have a few bases where the stuff was kind of up in the air a few times. But they've made much larger mountains, lower valleys, and a lot more graphical improvements. And then I came in right at
So they just
yeah, I mean
tweaked
it's a
things.
it's a version 3 they call it. Like the version 2 was last year around the same time, and then I got back into it this summer with the last DLC was kind of like almost like it's a abandoned derelict, kind of like an alien style. So you pick up these beacons where as you're going through space, you activate them, and as you're going through pulse warp, it'll say, "Hey, something's there," and you come out and you actually land on a derelict, and it's you're landed and you're kind of going through and listening, and there's like little plot lines that are randomized of like what happened to that space freighter as you're collecting stuff, but they're also very profitable. So they actually have a lot on them, so it's pretty
That's
neat. So it's
cool.
like that horror effect kind of thing. Not quite Dead Space, but trying to get there at least. So I started playing that really heavily, and I
That's
just got
pretty
into
cool.
base building. Like I never even knew about how you can create some of the hotspot bases where you have automatic power and all this stuff, and there's a few glitches where you could actually find an abandoned spaceship, because the biggest thing is in the very beginning is a steep learning curve to get money, but once you get like past like 10 to 20 million, it becomes very easy to keep going, because I basically found a derelict ship and there was a glitch, and it still is there actually, where you fix up the derelict somewhere on the planet you discover it, you put a save point down, you go to the space station, and basically you trade it for somebody else's ship. So you could pay them, but you want to go for anything that's that cost of that ship and lower. And what you can do is you can buy that ship from
Mm-hmm.
them. You just say, here, even exchange pink slips, right? You go and you sell that ship. You make the money on the sale of the ship, and all the components that come out of it go into your inventory, and you sell those. So you're making like 1 to 2 million per ship typically. So within an hour, I
Dang,
got 20 million. So, and it's just, it's one of those,
that's
yeah. And then once you
stupid.
start doing that, you start doing some of these bases, and I've got some of these base farms where I just go to each of them, and I'm mining like cobalt and all this other stuff, and I'm selling them like 3 million a pop. So I'm up just in the last month, I'm like up to like almost 200 million, and then it's very similar too. So it's just there's some of those and those are normal methods. Like once you get a good farm, you can really start to do some of that stuff. So, but no,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been enjoying it like a lot because I just needed something. I haven't been able to load up Destiny in a while. Love the game, but I'm looking forward to the new stuff. But I just haven't been able to play it all, and probably the last 6 months really consistently. I haven't
Yeah.
even loaded up this season at all. I have no interest in the Halloween event at all. So I've just been kind of playing other stuff, and then I also was playing State of Decay 2 for a while too. That was a lot of fun because it was on the Game Pass. That was a surprisingly really good game too. kind of like base management meets horror survival kind of thing. And I was really having fun with that. So I've been playing those. But yeah, No Man's Sky has been a lot of fun.
Have you ever checked out Phasmophobia?
I saw it. Gunbait was talking about it. I'm not big into the big like jump scare type stuff. So like even the zombie games, most of them I'm not really that interested in. But the State of Decay kind of appealed to me because it's got that survival instinct and it's got a lot of micromanagement. Like you're building up characters that you enlist and they can die, kind of like XCOM style. Like you can go on a mission and that character dies, and you've invested all that time into that character and and you build up your base and you find new bases and there's like 4 or 5 different worlds and stuff. So I was able to try that. So I had played that for a good couple weeks straight. So, but yeah, I haven't really been streaming too much. Just a couple of times we did a couple raids, and I think I streamed, and that was about it. Just because the schedule's been a little more inconsistent with everything. But so
yeah. Well, we'll have to definitely catch up with it later, man.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to
we'll
it.
definitely play again. That'd be great. Cool, man. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Take it easy, brother. See ya.
All right, we were here, and that was PoopShizzle and myself. Definitely check out PoopShizzle if you have not. He is a great streamer. He's been doing a lot of Destiny 2 stuff. He's always been in Destiny crowd, but he's really been doing a lot of solo dungeons, so definitely check those out, especially if you want to see those. And then also he does a lot of these kind of games, these puzzle games, so we've kind of talked at times over the years about puzzle games and stuff, and I've watched him stream those other games, and so this was a great opportunity to play together. It was fun. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I think that's probably where I'm going to call it. Don't think I'm probably going to stay up much longer. I probably will play a little bit of something, but probably not going to do too much. So what I may do is I may raid my boy Elmer. Let's see. Let's do this. All right. Well, you have a good night, and thanks for tuning in. Probably will try and stream again. It's been a little bit of a thing I've been doing, but probably will. So probably No Man's Sky, most likely. Maybe a little Destiny, but more likely No Man. So take it easy and have a good one. Bye-bye.
Saturday. I believe so. I think so. I don't have a tournament till next Saturday. Podcast on Thursday.